Well, forecasters are keeping a close eye on Florence's path. Julie Weiden is a meteorologist at Accuweather. She joins me from their headquarters in the U.S. state of Pennsylvania. Julia.
Hi, Asier. So I want to tell you what the latest is on Florence right now. You can see it's very clearly defined, and it is still off the coast. Winds currently sustained at 205 kilometers per hour. That makes it a Category 3 hurricane. There is the possibility that it could strengthen up to Category 4 level before dropping back down to Category 3 as it comes closer to landfall. Now, I do want to point out that this is moving very slowly. In fact, it's reduced its speed as it's headed off to the north and west. And that's not a great thing here, because the slower it moves, the more time it has to just pummel the coast with those high gusting winds, storm surge, and heavy rain. A look at your current satellite imagery here. It's a very picturesque storm. You can make out that very clearly defined eye. It has clouded over somewhat, but unfortunately, the prettier the storm looks on this imagery, the more damaging it tends to be. And we will likely start to see these impacts as soon as tomorrow in terms of that storm surge and rain. You take a look at what's going on here, and we'll be reaching that Category 4 status by about 8 a.m. on Thursday with those high gusting winds. This is a really big question mark here as we head on into Friday night and Saturday. That's when the system could really slow down significantly. And again, like I mentioned, that's more time for it to bring rain. That's more time for the beaches to become eroded and even destroyed due to the storm surge and the high gusting winds. The reason why it's slowing down is because this high pressure system off to the north and east typically tends to steer these types of situations and bring them out into the north and east. But since it's weakening, there's nothing to help guide the storm. As a result, it just slows and stops, and again continues to bring all of those impacts into the Carolinas, potentially even shifting off to the south and west, moving down towards South Carolina. Several states of emergency have been declared, from Maryland all the way down to Georgia. This is where your coasts are at risk. We have already seen over 1 million evacuation orders issued, and dozens of shelters are open. Some of them are pet friendly, so if you do have cats, dogs, any other animals, and you need to evacuate, make sure you bring them with you to the proper shelter. Like I mentioned, rain is going to be a huge concern here. We've kind of outlined where we have the heaviest rain expected, and this is going to continue not just while the hurricane is at the coast, but even after it moves on inland. This area from Myrtle Beach all the way up to Wilmington, that's where we could possibly see catastrophic rain. We're talking feet of rain here. Could be similar in some situations to what we saw last year with Harvey down in Texas. Now, in the past, this is how much rain we have seen from tropical systems. South Carolina has seen a max total of just over 18.5 inches. We've seen just over 24 inches from previous tropical systems down on into North Carolina, and again, could see significantly higher totals than that. It's not just the rain, it's also the wind and the storm surge. Again, as we look at how much of our impacts are going to be reaching, especially through the Carolinas, but also going to be watching for those high gusting winds. Could again see significant damage for your coastline areas about as far south as Myrtle Beach. Wind gusts upwards of 177 miles per hour. And again, coastal damage is going to be a problem. Asier?
Julia Weiden, thank you so much.